In today's video, I am going to be breaking down some simple basketball plays that you can run with 10-year-old basketball players. Let's get down, let's check this out, but really quickly, if you want to have the complete guide to the 5-out basketball offense, make sure to go check out the link that is down in the description below. The 5-out offense is an offense that pretty much every team uses, and it can go from super simple plays all the way to really advanced plays. But let's get down to these plays right here and check them out. I hope that they help your team win more games. So this first play is a 5-out play, mostly just because it's a simple, super simple play to run, and we're going up against a man-to-man defense. Obviously, these guys are in help defense. That's probably not going to happen at 10 years old. They're probably going to be playing pretty tight, but let's just say, for the sake of argument, let's say they're an advanced team. You may want to, or at least I'm going to show you what it's going to look like when it comes to help defense. So we're going to start by having player 2 and player 3 setting screens down for players 4 and 5. The idea here is we're hoping that we hear the team say switch. If they are to switch that screen, let's say player 5, as an example, was to switch that screen. Well, if they switched the screen and there was no communication, player 5 potentially could be open for threes, and I have videos on my channel where 10-year-olds are hitting threes, so there potentially could be some teams out there that may have some players who can hit threes at this age. If they switch and there is no miscommunication, they actually do switch, instead of player 5 popping up to the wing, instead we would want him to cut in towards the basket. The idea here now, let's say player 4 will go up, player 2 will then clear out. We now have a switch, in which case this is a massive mismatch. And you may have a team, or at least a player, who maybe let's say 4'1" on a player who's now, let's say, 5'5". And if that's the case, that's a massive mismatch. You need to feed that and just let player 5 go to work. It's simple offense, get the mismatch, get that easy point. Now, if this didn't work, then we would have player 5 fill out, and we're still in 5-out. This same play can be ran as a box offense. Not many teams run the box offense because most leagues these days will run zones. So if you are in a league that does not allow zones, then this would be a perfect offense for you. Let's say, for example, the middle school grade 4 to grade 8 level at the school level, not the club AAU rep level, but at the school level here in Ontario, you can't run zones, which means that you're forced to run a man-to-man as long as you haven't been able to figure out how to trick the referee. So this is the exact same play, but as a box offense. Box offenses are super simple to run. They basically set up in a box, and preferably we would have the bigs start in the high post, the smaller players start in the low post, and you obviously have your point guard up top. They're going to be setting pin down screens. Again, same idea as before. However, now we're going to be having player 2 and player 3 pop up after those screens. And what we are really hoping for is for there to be a switch. If there is a switch, we need to clear that side, pass that ball over to player 3, who then passes into player 5, and let player 5 go to town on that smaller defender. The whole idea behind screens is the fact that you want the other team to switch. This is the same strategy that pretty much any team uses, whether it's NBA, college, high school, or even elementary school. If you set a screen, obviously if your league allows you to set screens, which unless you're in Europe, pretty much the rest of the world will allow you to run screens at this age, guess what? That is what you want, a 5-on-1 screen, a 5-on-2 screen, where now you're going to have that switch, because so many coaches at the younger levels will teach switch everything, which is a massive mistake, because now you can have the advantage if you were to set the correct screen, in which case, in this case, you now have a big being guarded by a small kid. You get that big kid to take one dribble, maybe a quick shimmy, maybe just a quick drop step right into him, easy hook or layup, and that's going to be a very simple basket that you can get for your team. Now going back to the 5-out offense, this is again another super simple play that you can run. I run this with every team I coach, whether it's a U11 team or this year they're U12, or if you have younger players, you need to run this play. All it is 5 players out of the 3-point line. Now you may be saying, well, none of my guys can shoot. I got 9-year-olds, I got 10-year-olds. None of them can shoot a 3. Why am I running a 5-out? Well, the idea here is just to teach your team how to spread out. This offense is going to get you a ridiculous amount of layups, but your team has to spread out. You can't have kids who are randomly shooting the middle. Obviously, if they're open, if their defender's not paying attention, they can cut back door, things like that. But in this offense, it's super simple. It's called 5-out, pass, and cut. And it's literally in the name as to what they're going to be doing. Player 1 will pass over to player 2. As an example, he could pass to player 3 as well. And player 1 will then cut to the basket. See, what happens so often here is the fact that after player 1 makes that pass, player 1's defender is just going to be ball watching. He's going to be looking at this man. He's not paying attention to his man anymore. In which case, when player 1 then cuts, it's going to be a very simple pass, very simple layup, and it's going to be layups for days. Now, of course, if they do play help, you can kick that ball out for a 3, maybe a mid-range shot. Player 4 can take that step in if he doesn't feel comfortable shooting the 3, things like that. But this is going to open up a lot of opportunities for a lot of players. Now, to continue this play, let's say this pass wasn't open. Player 3 is going to fill the top. Player 5 is going to fill the wing. And because player 1 passed to the right side, he's going to fill out to the left side. And then you can continue to run this play. If player 2 passes to player 4, player 2 is going to be then cutting to the rim, potentially open for that layup. If not, and he's covered, player 3 is going to fill, player 5 is going to fill, player 1 is going to fill, and player 2 is going to fill out to the left side because he passed to the right side. Picture this as being just one big circle on the court, and it's super simple to be able to run. The most difficult spot is going to be the corner, and when that happens, that pass is out to player 3. Player 4 is going to cut. He's going to, if he's open, obviously hit him for a layup. If he's not open, he's going to post up for a second. If he doesn't get that pass in, then he's going to fill back out. You can then continue to run this play. However, if he gets that ball into the post, again, same thing. If player 3's man ball watches, player 3 is going to cut. He may be open for that pass and layup. If he's not open, player 5 is going to fill, player 1 is going to fill, player 2 is going to fill, and player 3 is going to fill out. Player 4 can then kick that ball out if he hasn't scored yet, and he can either fill out, or if you are a more advanced team, he can go and set a screen for whoever he passes to, and at which case player 5 may have an open layup. He may be able to hit player 4 on the roll. There's a couple of different options here. So there are a couple of different plays that you can run with your team. Make sure to go check out my complete guide to the 5-out offense that is down in the description below. And I hope that this video has helped your team win more games. If it has, hit that like button and subscribe.